Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today we're going to be taking a look at the classic Army PX9 AEG SMG. Now this is another one along the line of pistol caliber SMGs which I'm looking at. Of course the other day, well it may not be the other day, maybe a while ago, but a while ago or the other day I looked at the Ares P45S, if I remember in my brain correctly that that's the name of it. And now we are having a look at a slightly cheaper variant, or another kind of option that you've got out there instead, which is the classic Army PX9. Now it takes a very similar type magazine, this long boy here. It doesn't have a short one like the Ares one does, but it does have this long boy here, and it kind of clips in the back there and clips in the side there, and when you press this little button here the magazine goes in and out. But before we get into the details of this riff, why not subscribe? If you're not subscribed yet, loads of content on the channel, you're gonna bloody love it, loads more to come. So hit the subscribe button. A big thank you as well to my patrons for subscribing and watching the channel, watching the videos and supporting the channel. You're lovely, thank you very much. The classic Army PX9 is entirely made of polymer, apart from the rear end of the stock, which is metal, and the big polymer amount of it means that it's quite light. It's a very small riff, so if you're a little person, or you've got smaller hands or not very long arms, then this could be a potentially good option for you. And also if you're new to Airsoft, or you want to get started in it, this could be a good option for you as well, purely because it is small, it is light, and it is on the cheap side. So if you use this and you enjoy Airsoft, then you can invest into something a little bit more crazy. Now because it is a small SMG, the barrel isn't that long, which kind of leads you to a few things. One, the power's not going to be super high out the box. I imagine this is probably going to be maybe 0.9 joules, if that, maybe a little bit less. And then the range and the accuracy isn't going to be insane as well, because the barrel is quite short. Now I know a load of you experienced airsofters are probably going to go, barrel size doesn't matter. Well, if I had a 10mm barrel, is that going to be as accurate as a 120mm barrel? No, it's not, because like it's just not. So there is something to having a longer barrel for accuracy. Now what I will agree with all of you seasoned people out there, beyond 150mm, I would say in this type of riff isn't really going to give you too much of a better experience. My sniper rifle, my Novrich SSG-10, I can't remember how long the barrel is in there. I'm just using the stock barrel, so it's probably something like 420mm, something like that. That's lovely, that's great. I don't need to put a longer barrel in there. I've got the power, I've got the distance, I've got the accuracy, and that's fantastic. But if you're going to say that this is going to be the same accuracy as my SSG-10, then I will laugh in your face, sir. Barrel length does matter. Anyway, back to this cheeky little thing. You get one magazine in the box. Along with the magazine in the box, you get a magazine loader. You get a bag of BBs, which more than likely are probably going to go straight into the bin. I imagine they're .2s, but it doesn't actually say... Oh no, it does say on the bag, 0.2 gram BB. So you can use these. Take these to Airsoft and use them, or you can use these to Chrono it, because it's 0.2 gram BBs. That's what most sites Chrono on anyway, so that's good for that. You then have a unjamming and cleaning rod. Of course, because the barrel is so short and tiny, it's not that long, because that's going through the hop chamber as well. Because you've got that, you can clean it, you can get BBs out, you can poke them out the way if you want to, and then you've got this like little leaflet which explains to you some stuff. And actually, quite interesting with this, it has got a is it optical? No, it's a micro switch trigger, but the MOSFET is programmable. It has got a programmable ETU in there, so you can change it to like safe semi-full, safe semi 3-shot burst, safe 3-shot burst full, safe 5-shot burst full, and then safe semi and semi. Now I would actually run this personally on the safe semi and 3-shot burst option, just because I don't ever really like full auto that much. I don't really find the need for full autoing, and if I ever do find myself in a position to full auto, generally just to provide some, like, you know, covering fire so somebody can run out into the open, I can just be like blah 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 on my 3-round burst, and then everything's going to be kept open and clear, and then they can go and do whatever they want to do. But usually I'll just be semi, like do 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 do, and then if somebody is over there and I'm like do 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 do, I'm not getting them, I'll just ship swap to my 3-round burst and just go do 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 do, and I'll have a really good, ruddy good time. So the fact that this is so cheap and it's got a programmable ETU is very, very cool. It also has motor protection too, so it's not going to get locked up, damage the motor, and it's got low voltage protection as well, which means that if you are using your LiPo batteries in there, which I highly recommend, you're not going to go low enough where the batteries are going to get damaged. The gun will probably beep at you and tell you that you should stop running it, and then it'll probably stop working as well, just to protect your batteries, because batteries can be expensive. By the way, YouTube, I did call this a gun. It's a toy. This is a toy gun. It's a toy. It's a replica. It's not real. It's BBs. It's airsoft. It's toy. Don't tell me off and make people not be able to see this video. It's a toy. Now I am going to chrono it. I've got this magazine here loaded with BBs ready to go, so that's just going to go in there just like that. We're going to see how many rounds per second we get out of this thing as well. I will be using an 11.1 volt Li-ion battery here, a Titan Power, and I must admit this is the best airsoft battery I have ever used in my life, because I can leave it in a riff if I want to by accident. It can run down to 0. I can recharge it, no problem at all. Power delivery is great. It's efficient. It's fantastic. I'm not even sponsored by them. I wish I was, but this is a Titan Power battery. Highly recommend them. The only downside is they're a bit bulkier than lipos, but they're much less volatile. They're much safer, and when you've had a lipo explode, you want to kind of go for a safer option, which is why I've got these. They're fantastic. But anyway, batteries aside, let's chrono this. Once you've subscribed, of course, hit that subscribe button, you cheeky little thing. And let's see what FPS we get and what RPS we get. Oh, on the stock, by the way, there's only 2 positions. You've got short and then you've got long. And in order to get to the battery bit, you lift this little kind of like flap up here on this tube, and then that just lifts free. So I don't know how well that's going to stay in there. It feels pretty snugly in there as well. So, it's probably going to be fine. And there is plenty of room in there for big old long batteries. Would these fit in there? Oh, no. These batteries are slightly too long to fit in them, but I just put them in there, put a bit of duct tape on it, and well, you're going to be golden. As you can see, it does come with a Tamiya connection in there by default. Which one's the... That's the positive. Let's just shoot the damn thing. Right, so in terms of my joulage, my power, it's a little bit less than I thought it would be. I said I think it was going to be about 0.8 joules, something like that. It's coming up at 0.65, so it is a little bit on the low side there. But you know what? For running around CQB, things like that, this is going to be perfectly fine. And it does mean you've got headroom if you want to upgrade it in the future. You're not going to be making like mid to long shots if you're playing at like a woodland site or something like that anyway. You're going to want to get closer with this. And when you are closer, you don't need as much power. And if you are worried about hurting people, which you really don't have to be when you're playing airsoft, because everybody knows what they're getting themselves into anyway. If you are worried about that, it's a little bit less on the power side, so people will feel it, but it's not going to hurt them quite as much. Now let's see how fast it can go. That was surprising. So even though it's only at the 0.65 joule area, you've got a lot of headroom, it's coming up at 22 rounds per second. That's really, I'm surprised at that. I thought it was going to probably be something more around like the 15 rounds per second mark. That's actually really darn good. Like, I'm surprised with that. I'm chuffed with that. So this really would fill the role of SMG well. You're not going to have that mad range or accuracy, which, you would get with a rifle-y type riff, but this has got the rounds per second to make it actually be really functional as an SMG. You can run up close, burst over there, burst over there, and because you're putting out so many BBs, people are going to hide, they're going to tuck in, they're not going to want to face you, which means you've got more opportunity to get closer to them and then take them out. So yeah, I'm surprised of that. That's really cool. Remember as well, I was shooting it on a 11.1 volt LiPo. If you use a 7.4 volt or like a NIM or something like that, then your RPS will be lower than that. Potentially, you may be at the 16, 17 BB mark, something like that. Your riff is working completely fine. That is exactly expected because this is a higher voltage. You can put more power through the motor, through the ETU, and then make it go faster. So if you do want to get the same rate of fire that I've got with this right now, make sure you run an 11.1 volt LiPo or Li-ion, which is what I have here. That is really cool. I like that. What other features have we got in here? So the trigger actually activates pretty quickly. So you don't have to pull the trigger all the way back down to here for it to go. It's just a bit of probably a half trigger pull for that to activate and work. It is polymer everywhere apart from this back bit. And you know what? I actually like that the back bit here is metal. It's still really light, but it kind of does help you to almost balance the riff a little bit more in your hands. The handguard is plastic, the outer barrel is plastic. You can take this off as well if you wanted to put a different kind of muzzle on there. There's not a lot of flex in the handguard at all, which is good, which means if you're like pulling it around like this, you're still going to be quite accurate. It's not going to deflect the outer barrel at all. You've got flip up iron sights there. You can keep them down to be low profile, or you can press a button and flip them up, or you don't even have to press the button. You press the button for them to go down. You've got your little tower sights there, which I'd recommend not using. Just get like a red dot, or shoot without the iron sights at all, and just kind of like learn where the BBs go. But I would highly recommend with every riff, apart from snipers and pistols and whatnot, or even though I would recommend it with pistols now, get a cheapy red dot sight. You can pick them up for like 30 quid, pop that on the top, job's gonna be a good one. That's pretty snazzy. I like the fact that this is kind of like got a finger rest in here as well. I wasn't too sure what that was, but then I realized, oh, my finger just naturally goes there anyway. So look, it's not just like left over for the molding for the hell of it. It's actually a nice little finger rest, so you can walk around like that, nice and relaxed, and then as soon as you see someone you want to engage, boom, you can pull your finger down straight onto the trigger just like that. So relax, 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 and then boom, engage. That is cool. I guess the last thing I want to know, oh my days. Okay, okay. I was not expecting that. So in order to get to the hop unit, which just has a rotary hop, by the way, you pull this back here, and then you can adjust your hop. But there doesn't seem to be an end stop for this. So if you give this to someone, like I did then, I wasn't expecting it just to keep going. Usually with these, they have an end stop point, and you can't pull it beyond that. But this just has a long spring. So you've got to be careful with that. If you pull this like too far, you're going to permanently stretch that spring. That's going to damage it. And then this is just going to hang out the end of the riff like that until, you know, you replace the spring, or until the end of the riff's life. So be careful with that. If you do want to change your hop, just bring your riff down, try and grab it here, and just use a finger like this to pull it down, because you don't need to pull it far. You can change your hop, and then you can just push it back in like that, and then you're ready to go again. It's also surprisingly got sling points on there. So you've got one on this side, one on this side. Is there anything on the top? There's nothing on the top there, nothing on the top there. And there isn't one on the rear. So, but that's still pretty impressive, to be fair. That battery cover stays in place really quite nicely. Like, it took a lot of force for me to unclip that there, so I don't think that's going to be going anywhere when you use it. And the gripper's got this nice little beaver tail on the back there to make it really nice and comfortable on your little like thumb webbing, whatever that part of your body's called. So yeah, I like that. That is nice. It's small, it's lightweight, the magazines are like good. It shoots well. The RPS is through the roof, which is absolutely lovely. So yeah, if you're looking to get yourself a cheapy, you know, kind of like backup riff, maybe you just want to take this, not to necessarily use it all the time, but just to take a riff with you. So if your main riff stops working or has an issue, or for some reason it's over the sight limits, just having something like this in your bag, which you can just grab and go and run around with, you're going to be able to have a lot of fun with that. I definitely recommend that. Or if you're new to Airsoft, or like I said, a smaller person, you've got smaller hands, smaller arms, this could be a nice little option for you, because it is really lightweight, it is compact, and yeah, like, it will give you a lot of opportunity to run around, shoot people in Airsoft for fun, and have a really good time. So yeah, cool, lovely. If you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Big shout out to all my patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel month after month, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much. I love you. Stay fresh. Mwah.